Good morning! We got a very special guest today. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Karen. Ade. Man, that was easy.
We did it. Wait, it like didn't show up at first, and I was like, "Oh no."
I You're like, let's not have that happen again. Oh my gosh. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
It's 9
I just
a.m. in
got my
Orlando.
actual espresso.
Ooh, what are you drinking?
Just Nespresso black.
I love it.
I
Do
feel
you
like
like?
you guys always have coffee mugs. Like, do you drink coffee or do you actually drink espresso?
Well, we like espresso, but we don't have an espresso machine yet.
That's another thing to add onto the list. AirPods and espresso maker.
Yes, exactly. Well, turns out, look, I got my headphones here, but I think it's pretty clear, and we're probably not going to need it today.
Okay, cool. I
Yep.
have mine too.
So, how do you drink your coffee usually? Black?
Yeah, or sometimes like with a little almond milk. Um, I used to put like sugar-free sweetener in it, and I've gotten away from that. So,
Good. We're going to talk about all the lessons you've learned in just a little bit. Good morning, everybody. So, today we have a very special guest, our very own Karen Shears. This Monday, we just finished an 8-week challenge and transformation challenge. And man, you really transformed your body in 8 weeks, which is amazing.
yeah, pretty
But
amazing.
but the journey hasn't always been this way. So take us back to when your fitness journey has just started, or as I like to call it, to when you just started doing the fitness or fitnessing. How long ago was it? How did it start? Or what got you inspired? We'll begin there.
Okay, like way back. So,
Yeah, when
um,
was it?
5 years ago. Um, so basically, 5 years ago, I had just moved to New York City, and I just started this job in sales, which I had never done before. And sales comes a lot of travel and a lot of meetings and dinner meetings and drinking meetings. And I just put on like 20 pounds. And I was like, this has got to stop. Because I had always kind of, I mean, I guess it goes back even more. Like, I'd always kind of like, um, battled with my weight, I guess, like since after high school. I was a rower in high school and I was really strict. I was on the lightweight team, so I had to be under a certain weight. And then when I got to college, I stopped rowing and I put on like the freshman 15 that everyone does. And then all throughout college, I was always like, yeah, back and forth. Sometimes I felt good, sometimes I didn't. I went to school in Miami, so everybody is very look conscious there. And then after college, I worked for a few years, and that's when I was just okay. But then I put on all that weight when I moved to New York, and then that's when I was like, I need to take this seriously and get back to, what I was. And that's when I went like crazy. I do things like to the extreme, which you guys will probably realize in this interview. So I decided to go paleo and start CrossFit. That was like what I had to do to get skinny again.
Comment below if this is how you started your journey too.
Yeah, so I was like in the cult. Like when they talk about like the cult of CrossFitters, like I was so that person. Like I was there all the time. I would talk about it to everyone. I like completely like took everything out of my kitchen that was not paleo. Like I refused to cheat ever. I was super extreme about it. And it worked like for a while. I definitely lost some weight. I put on some muscle. It was the first time I was ever lifting. Um, but going back to like the extreme thing, I was like super competitive. So at CrossFit, I would like really just lift way heavier than I probably should have even tried. And yeah, all the workouts, like I would get annoyed if people were beating me. And yeah, it was good for a while, but then I just started feeling like not good about it. I just started getting frustrated because I just didn't, it wasn't sustainable.
Do you mind if I ask, in what ways did you not feel good about it? Like, what changes have you noticed that you didn't at the beginning that either made you feel stuck or made you feel frustrated? If we can just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, I felt like paleo was like you couldn't cheat, right? Like if you cheated, to me, like cheating was like, well, I messed up the whole day now. So now I'm just gonna like if I ate like it's like my gateway drug. Like if I ate something bad in the morning, like the whole day was shot and then that would turn into like the whole week. And then like if I missed a couple CrossFit workouts or if I like didn't feel like I did good at a Metcon with time, then I was like down on myself. And then like sometimes if I would have to miss CrossFit, I would be really upset that I missed it and I would just be in a bad mood. And then like eventually that just led to me like stopping doing it. And then like I moved to London and then I was like, oh God, like they don't have paleo food in London. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, and then I was just trying to do gluten free because I'm like, oh well, it's basically paleo because it's still like good. It's gluten free,
Yeah.
but like I really know, you know. So then I'm eating all these gluten free things, and I think I'm doing good, but I'm like putting weight on, and I'm not feeling great. And it's just like this endless cycle of feeling like I'm really putting in the effort and I think I know what I'm doing, but I'm not seeing the results. And I'm like getting really frustrated because, like, why am I not seeing the results? Yeah. So,
Yeah, because your intentions are really good and you're going out of your way to try really hard, but you're like, nothing is happening. Or I either feel like it kind of sounds like being in a codependent relationship with an unsupportive boyfriend and still going back for more every single time.
it's an abusive relationship, I would say. And my sister just logged in. Laura. That's my sister.
Oh, I actually can
Yeah,
see
no,
her.
you're totally right. It was like, and I tried everything, like I told you guys. Like if like I was always that girl who's like on the diet. Like, what are you on today? What diet and what workout plan are you doing? Like my clients know, like when they ask me to go out to dinner or lunch, they're like, where do we have to go? Like, what are you doing this time? Are you gluten free? Are you dairy free? Are you paleo? Like, it's just like a joke. I'm like, I can't.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me so much of myself. I used to diet for literally 15 years, and that's why, like, trust me, like, I've been through it all, I've seen it all. Like, I always tell everybody, like, I'm the hardest client you can have because I'm just this hard to deal with. And I know that if you create a change, then I know that I can help you and I know I can help you. And this is exactly what we did with you. But
Yeah.
you just said something, and I want to touch base on that a little more. You said you've basically, other than paleo, which was, basically a relationship with a codependent boyfriend that been there, done that, right?
Yeah.
What other diets have you tried?
Oh God, this is like so embarrassing.
Just
Okay.
like name top five. This is
Okay,
amazing because I
I'll
know
name the
so many
worst
people can
one.
relate.
This
Say
is
it
the
again. I'm
worst one
sorry.
I ever did. I did this in college. This was literally like the craziest thing I ever did. It was called HCG. Have you heard of that one?
No, tell me about it.
Oh my God. It is like you like take these like drops and they're like supposed to make you feel like you're pregnant. Right? Okay, it's like really weird. And then you're supposed to like limit your calories to like 500 a day or 700 a day and it's like um you can only eat like meat and like veggies like very restricted. And then like the point of the drops is making your hormones like making you feel like you're pregnant, so your like fake baby or whatever it is has to like feed off your fat, and like you're restricting your calories. It was like the crazy. This is like so bad. That is like that is like really bad.
That's amazing. You learn something new every day.
So that was like so embarrassing. I did that for like a month. But no, besides that, I've tried paleo, I tried Weight Watchers. I tried just like macro counting, like if it fits your macros. I tried gluten-free, dairy-free, whole 30. Yeah, those are probably the big ones.
Okay, amazing. Well, I also learned something new about you, that you used to row competitive. Is that where you got your?
Yeah, well, that and my sister, she's on the call right now.
I can't see her actually.
Yeah, she's on the call. Her name's Laura.
Hey,
Yeah,
Laura.
she she's like the perfect child growing up. I actually just talked about this in her wedding speech. Um, so I felt like I always had to like, she's like she never got in trouble, like I did everything. So I was like the bad like younger sister. So I was kind of competitive with her, and
Oh my
yeah, I think
gosh.
it's that, and I think it's rowing for sure. But yeah, I've always been super competitive, like in work, in life, and in my relationship. CJ's like, why do you always have to like win? Like you always have to win no matter what. If it's an argument, if it's like who cleaned the dishes faster, like I always have to win.
I love it. I love it. And you also won um,
Yeah.
the Raw 8 Week Transformation Challenge. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Let's begin with, so as you guys can see so far, Karen's been at it for a really long time. She's really, you can totally say she's tried it all. She's been through it all. She's even done this crazy diet called the HCG diet, which I personally have never even thought about. But you know what? You learn something new every day. So tell us, the challenge started at the end of September, right after Labor Day. At what point were you at with your body then? Like, what was happening in your life?
Yeah. So it was not good. I was not feeling good. Like I had put on almost 10 pounds, which started in June. I still remember when it started because I pretty much like didn't take vacation all year. I got a new job and I moved to Florida, so there was kind of like a lot going on throughout the year, but I managed to just sustain. I didn't really like put on any weight, but in June, we took our first vacation for the summer, which was a week in Costa Rica. And we went to this like all inclusive resort. And I put on like 6 pounds in a week. And then like I came back and I'm like, that's not real. Like, there's no way I did that. And then I like didn't lose like all of it. Like my mom's like, "Oh, it's water weight, it's fine," and some of it was, but like I think it was like overall I gained like 3 pounds or something, and it was. I mean, I was like excessively like eating and drinking, like all inclusive. What the hell? And then it was just like a spiral, like the whole like extreme thing. Like I'm like, oh well, I just gained some weight and now I'm like mad and I'm like it's summer and now it's like the 4th of July and we went to my like where I grew up in Connecticut for the 4th and all my friends like partied for like a week straight and we just ate bad and then I gained like another 2 pounds and then like what like really topped it off was I went to Europe, I went to Croatia and Amsterdam, and that was like a 2-week trip. It was for my birthday, and we just ate a lot and drank a lot, and like like I just feel like summer and people going out and like people celebrating is always revolved around food and eating, and I just like was putting on more and more weight and I was just like feeling worse and worse. It was like this like vicious cycle. And then like on top of that, I had like work trips. Like I travel usually like once a month for work. So every time I would travel, I'm like, well, can't start this week, I'm traveling and it's really hard to stay, active and stay eating well. So when I decided to do it, I was actually on the plane going to California for a work trip And that's why in my before photos, I'm at the Legoland Hotel
Mhm.
because that's where I work. And yeah, I just like was sitting on the plane, like going through like my email, and I had seen a bunch of emails from you guys that I like hadn't opened, but I opened this one, thank God. And it was like, last chance to sign up, like this will change your life, blah, blah. And I'm like, honestly, I'm just gonna do this because, oh, well, no, first I emailed you guys and I'm like, can I do this while I'm traveling?
Mhm.
And I was like looking for an out because I just didn't think it was possible. And then obviously you were like, yeah. So that's when I decided. And yeah.
That's amazing. And, you know, you guys, there's a lot of very important things that Karen's saying here that I'm sure all of you can relate to. Up until signing up, it's like making that commitment is scary, especially being in the position that you were, having tried everything, right? And
Yeah.
having failed so many times. It's like, because every time you fail, a little bit less confidence in yourself. So it's like you going out of your way to make that commitment because you were basically in at a point in your life where the fuck it moment, which is what we like to call, turned into a fuck it season, right? And you gain 10 pounds and you know, like you're stressed out because you feel uncomfortable, you know, in your skin and your body, just like within everything, right? And you're just like, okay, I have a sliver of hope that this time this is going to be different. But the reality of it is that I'm kind of looking for an out because that's what everybody says, you know?
Yeah,
And I've been doing this for 5 years and it felt like a really bad relationship, basically.
totally.
Um, so you gain 10 pounds and then you decided to join. Thank God for that. Hoping to get out of it, like looking back.
I'll be on my way. You know, like I didn't think I was like going to be so like invested as it turned out to be. And yeah, I got way more than that. So
Do you mind holding on just 1 second and just repeating whatever you said the last 30 seconds? I'm so sorry to cut you off. It just, I don't know if it is my connection or what, but everything sounded like a mumble jumble, so I couldn't hear anything of what you said. And I feel like this is really important.
yeah, sure.
Okay.
So I was just hoping to lose the weight that I gained over the summer. Like I didn't really think much more. Like I also knew you guys had like a eating manual and like a way to do eating differently. And I'm like, yeah, I want access to that manual. Like, what is it? What is this gold? You know? Uh, so I just like, I didn't think it was going to be that much more than that. Like, I was just like, you know, and even when I signed up, I was like, yeah, like, we'll see, you know, but I was like, usually like before something, I like hype myself up so much and I'm like, eating really bad the night before and I'm like, yeah, tomorrow's the day. Like I'm gonna like do it. Like I didn't actually feel like that because I was just like, whatever, man. Like let's just see how this goes. Like so, yeah.
Oh, man. And would you say that you got what you were hoping to get?
I mean, yeah, like way more. Because just like the group, the support from you guys, like I didn't think about any of that stuff. I didn't think like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, with you guys and like wider group, like the rock, like those girls are awesome and everyone's so relatable. And like, I didn't think I needed that, but like, it turns out I really did. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and I think this is definitely something that we spoke about on the last call is that, you know, for anybody who was a part of the raw and for anybody who is in the room right now, if you did the raw, can you just comment me or give us like a high five so that everybody can see like some of the people that were there, you know, something that we've all felt in this 8-week challenge is that you guys all went for it for a specific reason. And in fact, if you did it, if you don't mind maybe mentioning in the comments, like what made you join it? What were you hoping to get out of it? The most beautiful thing about it, and is that number one, deciding the winner was not easy. Karen's just on a mission with everything in life, as we've already learned. And you know, she absolutely crushed it. But the reality is that the other women like did like an amazing job too. Karen just had like overall like more results from a side, like with regards for measurements, weight, like, you know, total body transformation, which was super impressive. So very well earned. But while everybody went into this challenge looking for something, right? Like we all gained something beautiful. And, you know, like we said, like we became family. And it's like, it is just, it's been so beautiful to watch and be a part of. And I'm just like so incredibly like grateful and honored to be a guide for all of you guys, because you know, we really did an amazing thing together, and this was only chapter 1. So now, for the people in the room who have not done the challenge, let's give them a little bit of wisdom. From your experience over the last 8 weeks, having, you know, done all these crazy paleo HCG stuff beforehand,
Yeah.
you know, what did you learn or what did you do differently during the challenge that actually like created forward movement, but also created a good experience?
Yeah, totally. So many things. Oh my God. So I'd say the first biggest thing was eating more veggies. That's something that you guys stress so much, and I had never like eaten a lot of veggies. I thought they were carbs, and I was like, carbs are bad. So I'm just not going to eat that many veggies, which is like so crazy. So eating veggies with every meal was something I had never done before, and when I started doing that, I was like not as hungry. And that was something that was like this revelation for me, that I didn't need to be hungry constantly or like depriving myself to lose weight. Um, so like eating more veggies was a huge one. Also, you guys would say, you know, like 85-15, like you can be okay 85% of the time if you can do your best and like stay on track. 15% of the time, like do what you want. And like I took that very literally and I did cheat. Like I had multiple weddings like during the challenge. I definitely drank a little bit more than I should have some nights. Like I ate a pizza at one point. Like I did those things, and normally that would be the point where I'm like, yep, that diet's done. Like I'm not like I'm you know, I'm on to the next thing, and then like move on. But you guys like I remember you like saw the picture of me eating the pizza, and you're like, "Yeah, girl, like I bet that pizza's good. Like I want that too." And I'm like, "It's okay. Like you need to live your life." So that was really huge for me. And like the girls in the group too would be like, "Yeah, I have like too much wine." Like Alex and her wine, and like Teresa, you know, with her cheats and stuff. Like people would admit it, and like it made you feel a little better, right? Because you're like, I don't need to be guilty about this. And that's something that would always get me off track in the past. So yeah, that was huge. The workouts were amazing. Like I before this challenge, I was doing like this cardio style workout, and I was not lifting at all. Um, and you guys incorporated more lifting into this, but not like too heavy. That was like the negative with CrossFit, is like I was trying to squat 200 pounds and thinking that was the only way I was gonna like get a butt. And then you guys are like, oh, you can like squat 100 pounds and like you'll still see results. And that made me feel really good, because I was like, yeah, I don't have to kill myself, you know. And even with like the Metcons, like I didn't have to beat anyone. I was at my own gym and I could go my own pace. And as long as I got a workout in, like I was still making progress. Whereas before I taking it to the total extreme again, like having to be perfect and the best.
Oh man, it's getting back again.
Maybe I should open my door. Hold on.
Okay. It just got worse. Can you hear and see me well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. I want to make sure it's not my connection.
Maybe I can go into
let's
my living
touch.
room.
It's closer to my router.
Yeah, it already sounds better. I want to touch a little bit about training. And yesterday we were talking about it on the episode. For any of you guys who watched yesterday's episode, sometimes it doesn't matter like what your go-to person says. You just need to hear it from somebody else. And we talk about cardio not being like just regular cardio, not being an effective way to burn off fat. From your experience, let's for a second compare the training program that you did before going into the raw, like the difference that the Metcons did for you in comparison to just doing like body weight, just straight up cardio kind of workouts.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just saw my butt and like my abs. Like you guys incorporate some type of like abs into everything, which like you can see the results. And like that was like a big reason why I started. Like I saw your abs and Erin's abs. And I'm like, I want that. So I like totally trusted you guys. But in the past, like especially the one I was doing before this, and then before that I was doing yoga, which I loved yoga. But I just saw myself like leaning out. Like I could see like my limbs just being like really like thin, and I didn't like that. Like I wanted like my booty back, and like I wanted like my arms like, so that was the biggest thing. Like, and I like lifting, and I think like the cardio based workouts and even yoga, like it's like 1 hour of like straight up like cardio, like you're sweating, like you're just like, it's just like not fun to me. Like these workouts, like they're split up into manageable times, like 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and you're doing some lifting, some cardio, and it's just like much more interesting and varied. And that was like, I really loved that. So
Yeah. So let's debunk a couple of myths. And this is something that we always talk about, but it's really cool to hear it from somebody else who has really just like transformed their body through that very same exact way. Cardio is not the most efficient way to burn fat, okay? Number one. And then lifting weights will definitely help you to lean out. Lifting weights is not going to make you bulky. The difference between weights making you bulky and weights making you lean is how you lift them, what prescription you're following. So pay very close attention to that, okay? Because if fat loss and getting lean is your goal, then weights are just a part of your prescription. But not all weight training is created equal, and that is something that I'm very passionate about. I think that bodybuilding splits, they're great for accessory at the end of a workout. They do not get your heart rate up. They do not make you fitter. Therefore, they will not make you lean. Okay? Metcons, on the other hand, are a different story, but not all Metcons are created equal. Okay? So you need to have that balance. Karen, I'm really glad that you're saying all these things because it's really important for everybody to hear it from a different. I always preach it. I believe in it because that is how it transformed my body. Okay, so we talked about the training. We talked about eating more veggies. Is there any other really important nuggets that you'd like to share? The 85-15.
yeah, that was huge. I think just like the support from the girls, and just like anytime I'd feel like I was sometimes I would put on weight, right? And like you guys would tell me like, stop weighing yourself. Like it's not all about the scale. And that was another thing that like I always feel like I'm judging myself on, but it doesn't need to be. And like you guys are like so real. Like you'll like tell us what you weigh and like show us like, oh, I have this fat here. Like, you know, it's like putting things into perspective, because I think like the reality on like Instagram and like all these like fitness models is so skewed. And like people say like, yeah, I just like did this and I lost every day and I'm like so fit, but like it's like photoshopped, you know. And like having that like conversation with you guys and like with the other girls in the group, I think was huge. And just like knowing that like I don't need to be on the scale every day and like judging myself by that, that was really big for me too.
Yeah, I will never forget the scenario with the Panda Express.
I know.
Let's talk a little bit about that like little bit of frustration that you had and the massive lesson that you learned from it, looking back at everything.
Yeah, so I went to work one day. I like meal prepped. I was so excited. And then I get to work and I realized that I left my lunch at home. So I was like, damn, what am I going to do? And everybody went to this food truck that was based on French fries. So every meal came with French fries. And then it was like loaded fries. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. And I literally asked them, I'm like, what do you have that's healthy? And they're like, nothing. Like they literally and I'm like, okay, I need to go somewhere else. So I went to Panda Express and I got the veggies. They have steamed veggies and I got like chicken teriyaki. I'm like, this is the cleanest thing I can get here. And, you know, it wasn't that clean, obviously. Like they've got so much sodium and everything. But I felt a lot better than going to the food truck. And I ate the meal. And then the next morning, I weighed myself, because I weigh myself like every day before this. Now I don't anymore. And I'd gained like 2 pounds. And I was like, oh my God, like I gained 2 pounds. And it literally had a direct correlation with my and I just didn't feel like I wanted to do the workout. I just felt like tired and not strong. And like I knew I didn't actually feel that way, but like screw this. Like not feeling great, gained weight, feeling groggy, and get a coaching call that night. And you guys were on it, and you're like, Karen, like people gain weight, it happens. Like it's like if you drink water, blah blah blah. And then you like didn't realize, and you're like, wait, you had Panda Express last night? Like, oh my God, duh! Like I'm surprised you didn't gain 5 pounds. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. So.
But the reality and the reason why I'm asking you to share this story is because there's 2 reasons. Number one, the whole way you actually approach that scenario was perfect, right? Like, you know, life happened, which it happens to everybody. Shit, you forgot your lunch. Okay. So, you know, everybody went to the food truck, which had food that's basically just like a non-negotiable with your goals. You're like, no, like this is not a part of my 15%. Like I did not prepare for that. Fuck it. Therefore, I'm not going to have it. So, you know, you went out of your way to the closest place around and you've made the best decision by getting the cleanest option. Again, you focused on progress, not perfection. Absolutely love. And that was, you know, teriyaki chicken from Panda Express. Definitely not perfect. It is super loaded with sodium, maybe MSG, but we're not going to talk about that. That's in the past. It's okay. And then Karen was so upset because she told us that she weighed herself and, you know, she took it upon herself in the sense that I feel like I'm getting stuck. And you know, we had to drop some knowledge nuggets with regards for what the scale and weight, you know, actually has to do with your overall progress. And then we realized that she just had Panda Express. Like we dove deeper into the situation just to like try to like get even more real with her if necessary. But you guys, when your diet is high in sodium, you retain so much freaking water, you know. But us as women, and the reason why I'm bringing this up, because this has been a huge struggle for me too. In fact, that is why I do not weigh myself on a regular basis at all, is because we put a lot of emphasis with our weight and basically our overall progress or success, though that is not the case. Like, for example, like I know that I have abs, but if I step on a scale and I see 130 pounds, all hell breaks loose for like 3 months because I'm that kind of crazy, just like you, because you care so much. But you know, what we told the girls is to not weigh themselves unless it's for the befores and afters for a lot of very specific reasons, because our weight fluctuates on a daily basis. And what we were trying to get you guys to focus on is your daily actions, not the number on the scale, because the numbers on the scale can very much mislead us, just like the day with the Panda Express, because the actions that you took were actually all actions that have moved you forward. You know, it was all like 3 beautiful lessons in one, but the scale showed otherwise. And it's like, what does that do to our mental state? That's super important. And also, the reason why I asked you about that is because, just so you guys know, Karen won this challenge and she actually didn't even lose the most amount of weight. The person who came in second has lost more weight than Karen. It just, when it comes to your transformation and to overall progress, there is a lot of things to take into consideration. And weight is literally just one form of data. So if you are the kind of person who basically feels stuck or gets frustrated or gets some kind of like, you know, an emotional trigger based off of the number on the scale, then you need to know that it's not serving you any good, because it's making you focus on the wrong things. Okay? Because it is your actions consistently that are going to get you the results that you want, not the weight on the scale. But for some reason, us as women, we put a lot of emphasis on it. I think it's because of the society we were brought up in.
Yeah.
You know, and I still struggle with it, which is why I don't weigh myself. You know, and I tell this to everybody. So that was super powerful. Thank you.
Oh wait, there's one more thing I thought of too.
Yeah, tell me.
So the ease of like eating on your plan, which I wouldn't even call it diet because it's like a lifestyle, right? And I feel like that's so cliche, but it is. Like in the past, I've always used my fitness pal and I've counted every single thing I put in my mouth, and I've like weighed my food like a psycho. Like I had different weights like in every office that I worked in, like different food scales, like everywhere. Like I had to, like, if I could bring like a food scale to like business meetings, like I would, and like I was just too embarrassed to do that. But literally, like I was so crazy about it. And this like way of eating, which like, you know, using your hands as measuring and like really just you know, not having to track or write down anything was like so life changing, because I've never been able to do that. And I've never like, that's like why it's so easy to stick with it, because you know, everything else is just like not sustainable at all. And like you were always saying, like that would drive me crazy. Like I could not weigh food, you know, like, and that's what made me realize like, yeah, you're right. And I was like, well, am I eating too many tomatoes? And you're like, Karen, tomatoes are not going to get you fat. Like every single thing I'm like thinking, I'm like, yeah, if I put this in my fitness pal, like it would say I have too many grams of like carbs. You're like, Karen, stop. Just eat the tomatoes. You know?
Right. Just eat more tomatoes and stop looking at that app.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So many powerful lessons. Okay. If you could give one piece of advice to any of the audience, and I want you to think about Karen of 10 weeks ago, before you started this, what would that piece of advice be?
Um, say that.
Uh-oh, it's freezing.
Oh God, is this so
Okay.
good? I would say you're capable of doing this. You have to just find the right, thing, and you have to believe in yourself and stay committed. It's not going to happen in a week. Um, and yeah, that's really it. Like, I think before this, I just didn't think I was capable of, like, I always thought I would just be on sun and I'd always look just fine.
Hold on. I'm so sorry. It's still cutting off, and I feel like you're saying something so important. Do you mind repeating that whole thing again? Pretend like I just asked you the question
Yeah.
of if you could give one piece of advice, what would that be?
Am I good? Am I breaking up?
Yes. And if you are, then I'm just going to raise my finger. That's going to be our cue.
My advice is that you're totally capable of doing this. I think before I came into this, I just didn't think I could. I thought I would always be on some different eating plan and some workout plan, and I'd always just look okay. I would never be able to feel like confident or like really like I was successful in my like fitness and weight loss journey. But it is possible if you find the right thing that works, and it doesn't need to be miserable and it doesn't need to be hard. Like, it can be just easy and you can be happy. And like, honestly, like, this has done so much more for me than just my like body and my fitness. Like, it's changed like my perception and like how I feel about like eating and life and all of that stuff. So that would be my advice, is that it is possible to feel good and still like feel good about yourself and not feel like you're starving or you're like on this never ending diet hole.
Right. Ah, amen to that. So much inspiration. Amazing. If anybody has any personal questions for you, how can they get a hold of you? And by the way, you guys, if you have any questions right now, go ahead and comment, put those in the comment box. But if somebody wants to reach out to you privately, can they? And if so, how can they reach you?
They can message me on Facebook. So you guys, I think I'm tagged in this video.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind if you guys like email me either, like if that's easier. So my email is my first and my last name, karen.shires@legoland.com.
It's Shires, and we said Shears the whole time.
Everybody says Shears.
Oh
Everybody
man.
says it's Shires. It's okay. It's my dad's fault. His last name is weird. Growing up, I would always say, I don't like my name because I'm not shy, and it's Shires.
So you're like, yeah, please don't call me by that anyways.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, feel free to contact me. I would love to talk to anybody for sure.
You're awesome, and you're such an inspiration. I'm gonna ask you this. So what are you doing right now? Because obviously once you hit that first goal, I mean, we say this all the time. You can't just stop. Right. So what are you up to these days with regards for your health and fitness journey?
So I'm continuing on with you guys, coaching and working out. I mean, I feel like I have the eating under control, thankfully, and I know what works now, and I'm not ever starving, and I always feel good about eating. So my next goals are really to like build more muscle and keep like refining. I know that like the before and after pictures like are a nice transformation, but like I don't feel like I'm nearly there yet at all. Like, I want to have like more after pictures like 12 weeks from now, that are like way better. And then I look at these ones and I'm like, oh, like I don't like that. And I'm excited to get your care package because I want to, do some more like make sure I'm having enough protein and taking fish oil, which I never took before. So now I'm like committed to doing that. And yeah, just keep, like trying to build muscle and lean out. I'm not as concerned about like dropping like 20 pounds or something, but I just want to keep building muscle and continue on. I'm so excited.
I love it. Okay. So before I let you go, I want to ask you a deeper question because we like to get deep. 1 year from now, okay, in a perfect world, because it is, where would you like your body to be, and how would you like to look like?
I would like to have abs that you can see and like a nice round butt. And I would like to go to the beach and feel like happy in a bikini. Like I can walk around and not feel like at all self-conscious. That is like my perfect world.
Amazing. And it is a perfect world. And I think you've proven to yourself by now that it's totally doable. And I know it is. And I'm just stoked to, be your guide in this journey. And I know that Erin is too. You've done amazing things. And this is really just the beginning. It's the end of chapter 1, but we're on to the really fun stuff, chapter 2. And while the rest of the country is expecting the winter to be coming, summer 2020 is on its way.
Hell yeah.
Seems as if nobody has any questions right now. You guys know how to reach out to Karen if you have any questions. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you guys. I said this before, but I'm forever grateful for you and Erin. And yeah, I owe you guys everything. So
no, it's so mutual, and we feel the same way about you. And we just want to, share your message, because your experience and your journey is so powerful. Because I know that I've been there. I know that Erin has been there. I know that millions of women feel that same exact way, which is why we're so passionate about this. You guys, I say this every day, and it's a beautiful transition. We're on a mission to transform the lives of millions through the same movement, nutrition, and lifestyle habits that have transformed ours. If you know literally at least one person who's experienced anything of what Karen said she did before she did the 8-week raw transformation challenge. In fact, if you're this person too, then you guys, please invite your friends to this community, okay? This is what this is all about. We talk about topics just like that every single day in order to help you level up your life. If you know anybody who needs to be a part of this group, then don't be shy. Don't be selfish. Invite them, okay? This is how we are going to make a difference, okay? The difference starts with you. Other than that, we're extremely grateful for all of you guys. Thank you for jumping in today. Karen, thank you so much for your time. It is Friday. Wishing you all a beautiful weekend, and we will see you on Monday, 6 a.m.
Yay.
Bye, Karen. Thank you.
Thanks.
Ciao.